Control is the highest form of power, but not control over others, control over yourself. The man who masters his emotions doesn't just survive the chaos of life. He bends it to his will. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He saw that the downfall of kings, generals, and great men was never their enemies. It was their inability to control themselves. Rage, fear, pride, these are the invisible assassins that ruin empires from within. You too have an empire to rule, your mind, your habits, your reactions. And every time you lose your temper, overthink, or let emotions dictate your choices, you're handing over the throne. You're becoming a servant to what should serve you. Machiavelli would call that the greatest tragedy of all. The man who conquers nations but remains a slave to his own emotions. He taught that emotion is a tool, not a ruler. A weapon to be drawn when useful and concealed when dangerous. A cold smile in front of an enemy can be more powerful than 100 shouts of anger. And silence, calm, unnerving silence, can break people faster than threats ever could. But mastering emotional control doesn't mean becoming numb. It means understanding your emotions so deeply that they no longer control you. Anger is energy, fear is awareness, sadness is reflection. Each has its purpose, but only the disciplined mind decides when to use them. Think about how many times emotion has cost you something. How many times you said things you didn't mean. How many times you overreacted, tried to prove a point, or chased validation. All because you felt something. Machiavelli would have smiled at that and whispered, "You gave away your power." He believed the wise man hides emotion not to deceive, but to protect his strategy. To show emotion is to reveal weakness, a map for others to exploit. When you stay calm while others lose control, you win before the battle begins. Because the man who keeps his composure can predict everything and be predicted by no one. But here's the secret few understand. Emotional control is not about suppression, it's about transformation. You can't fight emotion with force. You conquer it by observing it. When anger rises, you don't act. You watch it rise. You study it like a scientist studies fire. You ask, why did it appear? What does it want from me? You don't put your hand in the flame. You use its heat to forge something stronger. Machiavelli admired those who could appear emotional while staying detached inside. To him, the ideal man could cry at a funeral, smile during betrayal, and speak gently while planning his next move. That's not manipulation, that's mastery. The balance between empathy and calculation, between heart and mind. You see, emotion is not the enemy. Impulse is. Every fool feels. But the difference between a fool and a strategist is what they do with that feeling. The fool reacts. The strategist reflects. The fool needs to prove himself. The strategist lets others underestimate him. The fool loses sleep trying to be liked. The strategist sleeps soundly, knowing his calm is his armor. And yet, emotional control isn't about coldness. It's about strength. The man who doesn't flinch under pressure commands respect. The one who doesn't chase attention receives it naturally. When you don't allow others to dictate how you feel, you become unpredictable, and therefore untouchable. Machiavelli's world was one of deception, betrayal, and politics. But beneath his cynicism lay a simple truth. Emotions make humans predictable. If someone can trigger your anger, they own you. If they can make you desperate, they can control you. That's why emotional control isn't optional. It's survival. You must learn to act from reason even when your blood boils. To pause when others panic. To smile when others expect rage. That pause is power. That silence is dominance. Because in that stillness, your enemies reveal themselves. People will always expose who they are when you stop reacting. When you master emotional control, you no longer fear rejection, failure, or betrayal, because you understand they're part of the game. You stop expecting fairness from life and start building strength instead. You stop saying, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "How can I use this?" Machiavelli would tell you, to win you must be two men in one, the passionate soul and the cold observer. The man who feels everything deeply but never lets it leak onto the surface. You speak softly, but every word is calculated. You show kindness, but it's guided by wisdom, not weakness. You walk into every room calm, unreadable, and composed. And that silence terrifies people more than any display of power. So the next time you feel anger, don't fight it, study it. When fear rises, don't deny it, understand it. When sadness comes, don't drown in it, learn from it. Because the moment you start watching your emotions instead of obeying them, you ascend from being a mere participant in life to being its strategist. That's what Machiavelli truly meant by mastery. Not conquering others, but conquering yourself. To govern your mind the way a prince governs his city. To know when to show mercy, when to strike, and when to stay silent. Control is not about appearing emotionless. It's about never letting emotion choose for you. It's about keeping your inner state unshaken, no matter what chaos surrounds you. Because the calm man sees clearly, and the man who sees clearly wins. So remember this: the greatest power you'll ever hold is not wealth, not influence, not fame. It's composure. When you no longer chase validation or react to provocation, you become rare. And when you become rare, you become powerful. That's the art of emotional control. The Machiavellian path to self-mastery. To rule yourself as you would an empire, with discipline, intelligence, and absolute calm.